But in this first hour, Patrice Oneal is in studio with us. He's a very successful stand-up comedian, radio personality, and actor. He's been on a number of comedy specials, Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central Presents, in addition to a guest appearance on television shows such as The Late Night with David Letterman, and on and on. Ellen DeGeneres Show, The Office. His stand-up comedy focuses on topics such as American politics, race and race relations, sexuality, and censorship. He is also a regular visitor of the Opie and Anthony program on XM Radio. Patrice is currently on tour and will be performing this Friday and Saturday night here in Austin, Texas, where we're based at the Cap City Comedy Club. So if it isn't already sold out, you can probably get down there and see him tonight and tomorrow. Patrice Oneal, good to have you here in studio with us.
Well, thank you, sir. How you doing, man?
It's awesome. It's good to have you here. I mean, I had seen you on television a few times before, but then I had seen some clips and heard some clips of you on the Opie and Anthony show that reaches millions and millions of people. And you were, very early on, right when the Obama deception came out, when Obama was still like God, you were saying people need to see this Obama deception, and you were saying, hey, this shatters the left-right paradigm. And they were saying, what, Patrice, you support Bush?
Look, you can't. I think there's an instinct to people who believe in New World Order and globalization. There's an instinct. You don't have to be informed to have that instinct. It's like when I first saw, after The Family came out, I had a heartwarming feeling just to see the black family come out, and you go, wow, man, I'm alive to see that. But then they see the faces, and you see these faces, and you go, man, something's wrong. Like, you just have an instinct, like, why am I not as happy as I should be right now? That's the New World Order instinct. Then you go and you find certain things out. So I was I think I was on like 50cent.com. 50cent.com. 50 Cent has his this is 50. So it had the Obama deception thing right there as I'm watching something on 50. And I looked at it, man, and I'm like, I can't be an honest human being if I don't feel like this is touching on something. And I had the instinct of all of that, but that particular film opened me up to the whole thing. And the one thing, if I have to pick out one thing that got me going, was the fact that the Federal Reserve Bank is private-owned company. That, on the lowest levels, I have never gotten past that. If there's the eugenics and the globalization and all of this stuff, and out of everything that got me going and keeps my mind in that direction, is that the Federal Reserve is a private-owned company.
I wonder why 50 Cent linked to the movie. Maybe he's awake.
This is 50s.com is where I saw the link to the Obama deception, and it it brought me in a direction that
it's got KRS-One and of course Professor Griffin.
Professor Griffin's in that, and KRS has always been into that. But the thing is, I noticed something about it. I'm a comedian. When I first got into it, heavy, you stop being funny. You really do. You just, nothing's funny. So I had to kind of chill out for a second and figure out how to be funny, back to being funny again, and then still throwing it out to people, because at the level you are, I watch the website and watch all the films. At the level you're at, it scares the death out of the average person who even might be. Eugenics is the highest level.
Well, exactly. That's what happens to me. I'm working all the time, and so I'm usually not freaked out or scared. But then when I take off a few days or get away from the radio or don't, read the news, driving into work this morning, I wouldn't even call it scared, just more freaked out, realizing this is real. I mean, I was on the airplane flying back from New Orleans yesterday, right, from doing a investigation and shoot with Jesse Ventura, and I was asked by a man on the plane next to me and a woman next to me, both separately were listeners, and they said, is this real for you or is this entertainment? And I said, well, wait a minute. Everything we talk about is on the record. Of course this is real. Of course this is real. But getting back to eugenics, now, I saw them build up Obama as our savior, and they were going to try to push their agenda. They took a step with their left foot. Now they're getting ready with the right wing and Glenn-Beck and Sarah-Palin to take a step with their right foot. And so now I was called a communist when I didn't like Bush. Now I've been called a right-winger because I don't like Obama. And now I'm getting ready to be called a commie again because now I've got to swing my guns over onto Glenn-Beck and Sarah-Palin.
But I think the plan was not, I think Obama was supposed to be in office for 8 years. I think the thing that destroyed the Obama plan, I think, is racism. I think white people's, the average white person who's not into the New World or they're into just regular politics, I think they can't take having a black boss for 8 years. And I think that ruined the higher ups plan to have him kind of have this feel of warm, we're all together.
Yeah, this feel good, and then
I think the average, like, I don't even know who to say the average white person, but you know, people are starting tea parties and starting these things that's from 1712. I think I mean, look, I'm not stupid, you know what I mean? It's like, don't lie to me about it not being racial when you start a tea party and you out of nowhere, it's a 2-year movement out of nowhere when the president's black. If we're into, like, if you're in the New World Order, this is not, it don't matter black, white. That's why it's like, if you're into that, you just go, yo, I don't care what color the president is, because it's all foul. But the average person who's just in the Republican and Democrats, I think there's a racial element to this country that can't take another 4 years of Obama. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I think what added to that, too, though, is the government-run health care and all these other big moves. But I do think that is an element to it.
The average person knows, Alex, that's what I'm saying. I'm out here, and I believe in the Bilderbergs. I believe in the Bohemian Grove. I believe it all. But the problem is, I look at, and don't take this wrong, many listeners. I look at Hitler, okay, and I go, if I'm a crazy guy and I go, I hate Jews, I want them all dead. Do you blame me as much as you blame the 50,000 people that I convince to shoot Jews in the head in the middle of the street? I don't like the people that go, okay, I'll just shoot people in the head. I've run into so many people who are willing to kill other people or kill themselves, really. They don't even know they're killing themselves on behalf of the Illuminati, the CFR, these people who we look at it like they're evil. Yeah, we get they're evil, but don't help them. Don't help cut my head off and cut your head off.
No, that's a good point. You know, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has now ruled citizens can be secretly arrested. People can be tortured. They don't need warrants. And this is all for the American people, regardless of what color you are.
Right.
But just like with Hitler, he sold it with an unpopular minority first, but really it was for everybody. So these idiots that go along with this, they need to know that they're in the crosshairs as well.
They just go along. I pay my electric bill every 3-4 months. I pay it when I get a threatening letter. I just forget. This time around, somebody came to my house to cut it off, and he goes, look, you're going to give me a check, or I'm going to cut your electricity off. I go, look, man, I'm going to pay it online or whatever. He's like, look, this is my job, I'm going to cut it off. I go, what if I had somebody in here who could die without the electricity? You know what I mean? And he just did this. He just went, that's my job. I go, your job is you think that you love your family by killing my family. Like, meaning something could be happening. Nothing is, but I'm just on a dramatic level, because then I got on the phone and the woman said, well, if your kid was on a respirator, we would tell you should have thought of that before you didn't pay your bill. And I go, are you serious? My bill was $800. You think people got $800 just to pay? You think everybody's trying to scam you? Your job is to hear me beg for my life. And you go, sorry, sir. So do you think that you could go home and love your family the way you think you love them if you can kill my family?
Patrice, that's a key point you made. You're talking about the Nuremberg defense, where these tens of thousands of Nazis said, hey, I was just following orders, and the court ruled no. If you're doing something immoral or murderous or illegal, it doesn't matter if a tyrant's telling you it's okay. You just can't abdicate all of your responsibility over to, I'm just doing my job.
It doesn't sit right to me. So as I've gotten into more and more, enlightenment about a lot of these things that these people up top are doing, and I believe they're doing, the problem is, how do you communicate that? It's shocking to me if you say it to an average person that doesn't know how much they don't want to hear it, how much they don't care, how much even I go, go to the supermarket, right? There's 10 aisles, but there's only one person working, and the rest is you're checking out yourself. Like, there's no more people doing jobs that you go, wait a minute, there's no more tellers. There's just one person taking, and
down the road, what are the jobs going to be able to have money to even buy the food?
That's what's killing me. It's like, wait a minute. If you're treating me like a robot, what they're doing is they're setting you up to get me used to dealing with robots, because you're not being a person right now. You're being they're tricking me. It's not tricking, because what they're doing is getting rid of your job because you cost them money. So a big business, why would I pay you if you're gonna get my $800? Why do I want to pay out the $800 that I'm giving you to a person that's working? They're trying to figure out how to get rid of you, and you're just helping. Well, it's just my job. It's not going to be your job.
No, absolutely. You're hitting on the key here. We're being deindustrialized. We're being turned into biological androids, and we had better have an awakening to even salvage some of our humanity. And to do that, we've got to all come together against the eugenics. We'll be right back with Patrice Oneal. Stay with us.